U.S. Vice President Kamala Harris is wrapping up her trip to Singapore and will fly to Vietnam today. Her meeting with Singapore's Prime Minister Loong has touched on events in Afghanistan. Lee said he understands the reasons behind the troop withdrawal, and what happens next will determine how the U.S. is perceived in the future. Well, let's go to Mira Lu in Singapore for more. Mira, so tell us about what the two said on Afghanistan and the other highlights of Harris's trip.
Yes, Zhao Yang. Yes, even though Afghanistan was not on the agenda of Ms. Kamala Singapore and Vietnam trip, but the U.S. facing severe criticism for the handling of its withdrawal from the country, the subject situation in Afghanistan is overshadowing her first trip in Southeast Asia. Ms. Harris had to field several questions, in fact, on Afghanistan during a joint press conference with Singapore Prime Minister Hsien on Monday. She was asked by reporters how the situation there would impact America's credibility as a reliable partner for its allies, at a time when America is already facing criticism for its neglect of this region. This morning, Vice President Kamala Harris delivered a policy speech on the Indo-Pacific at an event organized by the American Embassy in Singapore and the Lee Kuan Yew School of Public Policy. But before she began her official speech, Ms. Harris again had to address the elephant in the room, Afghanistan. She reiterated what she said yesterday, that at the moment the U.S. is laser-focused on evacuating Americans and Afghans who helped America. Now, the key message from this trip, though, which she has been talked about over and over in several occasions, is that she's here to reaffirm America's commitment to Southeast Asia and to the Indo-Pacific. She went on to add that the partners and allies here in this part of the world are a top priority for the United States, and the Indo-Pacific is critical to America's security. Yesterday afternoon, she visited Changi Naval Base, where a U.S. combat ship, USS Tulsa, is currently stationed. As evidence of the U.S. renewed commitment to Singapore and the region, the two nations signed several agreements on cybersecurity, climate change, public health control, space, and people-to-people ties. Vice President Harris' last public engagement in Singapore is a roundtable discussion with businesses, leaders, and industry partners on supply chain resilience. She will then head to Vietnam this afternoon, where she will be the first sitting U.S. Vice President in history to visit the country. Zhao Yang.
Thank you so much for that, Mira Lu in Singapore. And the next stop for the U.S. Vice President is Vietnam, and we're joined by Zhou Yang in Hanoi with a preview of that trip. Zhou Yang, what can we expect to see from Harris's journey there?
Well, Zhou Yang, about Harris' visit, because of the COVID-19 preventive measures, the officials have to limit access to the venue. But I still follow her schedule firmly, and according to the official source, she will meet with the Vietnamese leaders and the local media, focusing on the financial trade between U.S. and the COVID-19 vaccines. According to the local media, in 2021, the U.S. remained Vietnam's largest export market, and also due to the pandemic in Vietnam, the vaccine is also the top topic between the two countries. And about the pandemic in Vietnam on Monday recorded 10,280 new local COVID-19 cases. It is the fifth day that the local confirmed cases beyond 10,000. And for the local people, the biggest news for recent days may not be the trip of Harris. It is the ministry forces have tightened patrols to ensure social distancing measures are strictly followed across COVID-19 epicenter Ho Chi Minh City. And the latest demand of the pandemic controlling is stay where you are. And for that, you can hardly see people walking on the street. And in Hanoi, the destination where Harris is heading for, all the students can only start the new school year courses online. So that is all about the latest news in Vietnam, and whether she will talk about the Afghanistan issues and some other topics, I will follow it firmly. Back to you, Zhao Yang.
All right.